right, go ahead, Jeff.
All right, good morning. Today is May 18th, 2013, and my name is Jeffrey Miltimore, and I'm conducting an oral history interview at Christ Church in Waukegan, Illinois, with Alfred Malcolm Layson. All right. State your name and say your name and address.
Alfred Malcolm Layson. Current address?
I have to say it. I can remember. It's 2007 North Avenue.
North Avenue.
Waukegan.
Waukegan.
All right. Were you were enlisted?
Yes.
And where were you living at the time you were enlisted?
Across the street from Poplar Mechanics. I can't remember the street name.
In Chicago?
Yeah. Elam Avenue, I think, in Chicago. Elim.
All right. Okay, why did you join?
Well, I don't know. They were looking for personnel to come in and help with the cause.
Okay, and why did you join the Navy?
I don't know what I did, what reason I did use to join the Navy. I always liked boats and water, so I guess that must have been the reason.
Okay. Do you recall your first days in service? You know, like what did it feel like? What was boot camp like? Or do you remember any of your instructors or how boot camp was? Do you remember any of that?
I don't know. I've always been comfortable being in a boat on the water.
Okay. How do you remember boot camp at all? You probably went to Great Lakes, I'm guessing. Did you go to Great Lakes for boot camp?
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that? Can't remember. Don't remember any of your experiences in boot camp?
Not anything very outstanding, I guess.
Okay.
It was
All right. Which war did you serve in?
3. World War III.
3? What you mean, World War II?
Huh?
World War II?
Well, I was thinking that was 3. I guess by the time I got out of 3.
Anyway. Where did you serve at? Where were you stationed?
I started out in San Diego in the amphibious division.
Okay. And then where'd you go?
From there, I got assigned to aboard a ship, and we went down south to the Ecuador. Let's see, we stopped in San Diego, and I had duty there for, I don't know how, before. Then we moved in the South Seas.
Went to the Ellis Islands.
Yeah, that was the first island
Yeah.
we were headquartered in.
Do you what was your job?
And primarily it was being out at night on patrol around the base, just cruising around and checking on everything's secured.
Did you also work on boats?
Well, I was a fireman. I was a first class motor machinist
What was
on the
that?
boat.
Motor machinist
Motor
mate.
machines?
We had a crew of one deckhand and myself and the coxswain for the boat, and it would be out on patrol at night. And the first night, I guess it was, we had a bombing come in, and I was out on in a little bay, and the Jap plane flew right over me. I was in this amphib boat. He flew right over me at about maybe 100 feet, and of course he didn't. I don't know whether he could see me or not. It was pitch black. Anyway, he took off and flew down a little further, only about 2 minutes, maybe of flying time, and he came to the end of the runway, and he dropped his first bomb, so that it was a target for the guys coming in up above with a good load of bombs. And as soon as he had dropped his bomb, they homed in on it for target, and then the ones up above came in and they dropped their bombs all the way down the airport, and I suppose that some of them hit off the airport landing strip and picked up some planes that were close to the park. I don't know what the casualty weight was. I never did hear what the casualty weight was from his bombing. But then, let's see, he came right back. As soon as he dropped his bombs, he turned down to the other end of the air landing strip and came right back where he started from. And that was the last I saw of him, I guess. Then each day that came along, I was out on my boat that I was assigned to, and just more or less patrolling and seeing that everything was in order. We had a the ship's repair yard. I've got a sketch I did of where the carpenters and electricians and
Right.
everybody did their work in this repair yard. And I was assigned a tent, and I was right on the beach. And I have a sketch I made of that tent with one corner of the tent had a makeshift foundation at the corner next to the beach. Anyhow, and that was a follow-up assignment.
Okay.
I don't know how many got killed in the bombing that happened. Never did hear, I guess.
So
Then two of my buddies, Avenger and Lanier, they wrote this poem I got hand lettered it, and I had done a hand lettering of it and stuck it up on the center post in her tent. And one day, shortly after we got it up, the captain came around doing an inspection. And he saw it, and he stopped to look at it. And the title on it is
Our Prayer.
Our Prayer, and this God-forsaken island. And the captain read it, and he turned around and he said, "Who did that?" And I spoke up. I said, "I did, sir." He said, "Well, come down to my tent." He said, "I got something I want you to do for me." So I went down to his tent about half an hour later, and he wanted me to redo a picture of his wife that he had. So I made it up more or less a little bigger than what the picture was, of course, probably on each actual side. So anyhow, that was the beginning of that. And,
So I know you did a lot of artwork while you were there to pass the time.
yeah.
And how did you stay in touch with your family? How did you stay in touch with your mom?
Oh, I'd write letters, and I had a uncle. I forget how it was. I think his name was Ellis. I can't recall what his last name was. Anyway, in the letter I wrote to my mother, I mentioned something about Ellis. And it was his last name, I can't recall. And so she caught on to what I was trying to show her. And we were there. I forget just how long I was there then on that, and we got assigned to a ship that was moving out to continue with the war efforts, and we went into this other set of islands until we got up into this set of southern islands. You could see what they called the Southern Cross. I think it was 3 or 4 big stars that were precision that helped you visualize a cross, you know. And they were south of the equator. Anyway, I forget what the assignment was when they left it, but I got one sketch, I think, in the book there that mentions the name of the ship.
Anyway, how was daily life like? I mean, how was the food? How was any pressure or stress?
Food was good. The boat I was on, we were assigned one day to go to the food ship that was in the harbor and pick up the food that was assigned for us in our boat to take around to the different ships and disperse the food to them, because the boat that we were working on to do that had been loaded down with all kinds of food, eggs and whatever you might think was been assigned to each other's ship. So we'd pull up alongside that boat, supplies boat, and the deckhand up above on the ship would lower the cargo net down, and we'd pick up all this food and cruise around there in the harbor and stop at one of the other ships and unload. And that was the way that those sailors got their food. We were delivering it to them. And on the first occasion we were doing it, the waters were really rough, and we pulled up alongside the ship. I don't know where's the Salt Lake City battleship or not, but anyway, we did get them and deliver some food. And the coxswain aboard ship and the coxswain was responsible for picking up this food and delivering it to this, that, and the all different ones around. On the first occasion, the coxswain got the signal to have our boat, I guess it was, pull up alongside the ship and get ready to unload his food. And the water was really rough. And when he lifted it up, he didn't take it fast enough, and the waves brought the boat back up real fast and hit the bottom of the net, and the eggs just floated it down out of where they were at, down onto us. It hit the bottom of the cargo net so hard when the wave hit them, and man, I don't know how many eggs crushed all one blast. Anyway, they were pretty soft. That was kind of comical in a sense, but spoiled all of them.
Did you, when you would get leave, did you where would you go? Did you, because the reason I'm asking, you did those paintings in Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Was that on leave, or is that when you were stationed there for a while?
Well, I don't know. We were assigned to that spot in San Diego. It was the channel, and the shipyard there was large enough to accommodate the big ships that came in, supply ships and others that were just on their way to other nearby assignments. It was a huge. I don't know how it ever got there, because it looked like different than the shoreline. There was a rock in the entrance to the San Diego harbor. But it was big. I think I've got one painting of it in the group.
But the paintings, all the paintings you did in Hawaii, was that when you were on leave, or?
No, it's just on a different assignments.
Different assignments.
Move around. I carried my watercolors. I had a pad about this big. Every time they'd move me to a different spot, I'd grab my paint brush and pad and pencil, and I had a little water jar about this big around that I carried the entire time. In fact, I got it at home, and I use it every time I get my watercolors out. And kind of amazing that I was able to carry stuff around and do paintings of the different ones. When we got to Pearl Harbor on this ship was assigned on getting there, this huge rock that's in one of the sketches. You wonder how the rock ever got there, because it wasn't anything that you could have moved. It was too big to have moved it there, and yet there it was. You know, I always marveled at how anything that size, it wasn't characteristic of the shoreline at all, and yet there it was, and it looked like it might have been, I didn't get to measure or anything like that. I step it off to see just how many steps it take to walk from one end of it to the other. But I was always fascinated by how on earth did they ever get that big rock there, and it was right out in the middle of the channel. Why it was there, I don't know. I thought maybe when the weather got severe in the wintertime, the ice formed, and they might have got a 200 sailors to harness it up and pull it on the ice down to where it was really at. And it's still a mystery. I guess I never did ask any of the Navy personnel how something that size could be right out in the middle of the channel. Where did they get it? Or how did it get there? I still don't know.
Okay.
But,
all right. Do you remember when it ended and when you went home? Do you remember that?
when
Yeah, when they sent you home, when it was over with, discharged.
let's see. I don't know. That I was a motor machinist mate. They put me on board the. I've got the name, I guess, in the book there, and sent us back to. I think it was San Diego, where I was discharged.
Did you go back to, what did you do? Go back to work? Go back to school?
Well, I took advantage of the offer that veterans could get some schooling paid for. So I went to this art academy, I guess it was, and I applied for a entrance, and I got into this school at
What was
Chicago Academy.
Okay.
It's over on one of the streets where Popular Mechanics business building was at, and I guess I finished. I found a place to work, doing dishes in a restaurant. I got my room and board in a private home that was there in town. This elderly couple had a little so-called restaurant in their house, and I was able to get the job in there doing dishes and working in it. It was just working in a restaurant, you know. Anyway, that was the first job I had. It was right across, and then I found this place where this couple that I was doing the work for, or right across the street from Poplar Mechanics.
So then what did you do later as your career?
Well, I finished it 2 years out there in the Chicago Academy, and then I went from there to another school, but trying to think of
Another art school?
yeah. And I finished the two year, but the Navy paid for it and qualified for it. And then when I graduated from there, I went to Indiana to go back to the homeland, I guess you'd call it. And kind of forgotten what.
Well, when did you get to Abbott? When did you start that career?
Shortly after I got out, I got that little job at Abbott's that turned out to be a opportunity for so-called advancement, or at least a job ahead of me for a year or two. So I signed up for the art course at the Chicago Academy. It was located in a building on Wabash Avenue. The school was, and I was able to get some lodging. I think it was right across the street from the school. And there was an art store about a block and a half from where I was holed up at down on Wabash. Medina Temple was across the street from where I was. And found a room to accommodate my living needs. I went to this school for 2 years, and then when I got through there, I had a friend from high school that told me he thought I might be able to get a job down where he was working. I should go look and see about it. So I went down to the place on Wabash Avenue, and the art store supply was just about a block from where my room was going to be. And I think then I went down to Abbott's personally to the employment office to apply for the job, and I told well, one of my friends was playing on an Abbott basketball team that Abbott had for him, and he told me I should come down and apply for a job. So the next day, I guess I went down and walked up to the employment window, and he got the attention then as I was standing at the window and told the personnel that was responsible for taking the duty there at that employment window, and I told her, I said, I hear you're going to have an industrial Abbott basketball team, and I said, I'd like to have a job. And lo and behold, I got assigned right away to come to work, and getting acquainted then with the brass that ran Abbott's. I got a little bit of freelance work doing calligraphy lettering for award that Abbott's were giving to their sales force. They had just an 8x10 sheet, an award that they'd give to the sales personnel, and they had to have somebody do the calligraphy lettering with the recipient's name on those award sheets. So I was able to continue on with that type of lettering, which was just with a little chisel point pen nib. And of course they gave me the salesman's name that was being awarded this certificate. And I don't know, I guess the first time when I started, I don't know how many Abbott salesmen were awarded this, but that numbered them anyway up in the close to 100 salesmen that they were going to present this award to. And of course, I had to hand letter their name.
Well, what else did you do? What was your job at Abbott?
Well, that was it.
Graphic artist?
Yeah. I would do layouts and the special type of lettering.
And then when did you start your own company?
I don't know, I suppose having done some of the actual work at Abbott's as an employee, it grew into additional work there, and Abbott's was always each year attending these industrial shows that is common in industry. So I'd reached a point where they trusted me to design some activity at the industrial location. And the first year, I guess that I had the opportunity to do that, I thought, well, to do something for an industrial show, I'll just use the barn and silo, which depicts farming, and they went with that and got a lot of notoriety out of their industrial show because of the silo, and from that point on, it was I don't know just what all I did do, but I was able to get a full-time daylight 8 to 5 job, and that went on for a couple of years, I think it was.
Well, when did you start Layson Productions?
Uh,
Do you remember?
I don't know. I think I worked at Abbott's about 3 years, and when it got to the point where I was doing these industrial designs for a customer, the response I got from the designs I got Abbott have built went over pretty good, and
You don't remember what year you started your business?
no, I don't.
Was it in the 60s, the 50s?
I forget. I was down on Wabash Avenue with my place to book my room and board in this little private home that specialized in evening excuse me. They specialized in evening meals for customers, like the one you're going to now, Greentown.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But you can't. You don't remember when you started Layson Productions?
I don't I don't remember the year. No. Excuse me.
Yeah, because you had your own business
Yeah, I did.
of graphic arts.
I don't know just how soon it was after I got out of the service that I started it.
Okay. And you're retired now, because I believe, retired, what, in 1989, right?
I think so, something like that.
Okay. All right. Is there anything you can remember, or did we forget about, or with your war experience or anything? Can you think of anything else?
Not really, I guess. It's was able to somehow get this one job with this elderly couple that was in the business of serving dinners where we were living there on the Wabash. And that turned into an opportunity for me to do this freelance work, and a building became available on Wabash Avenue that I could supply service to other industries around. There was a little building on 620 North Avenue in Chicago.
No, it's Waukegan. Are you sure?
I know Waukegan.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's down the street.
No, the 620.
Well, 620 North Avenue is the address.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we have anything else to really ask or we're gonna get. Are you satisfied?
Yeah, I guess that would probably.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Okay.